All right, everybody, we got Abby here. She had 2 goals, 2 assists tonight. Big game for her. So let's start it off with Mike Murphy from the Ice Garden.
Hey, Abby, congrats on the big win and a big game, of course.
Thank you.
Can you tell me what was working with the line with Houston and Shaver? It just felt like one of those things, don't get a lot of opportunity to play together, but feels like you just kind of knew where each other were out there and making a lot of plays.
Yeah, I think it was definitely an interesting day for lines. Just because with the number of forwards we had, I was obviously playing with them. I was playing with really 4 different wingers for a while there. Just like moving off and on. So that was, I think that took a second to adjust to, just having different wingers every shift and things like that. And I think in the third, we started kind of going a little steadier with that. But I think it was good just you always have somebody different, bring something different to the table when it's like that. So that's kind of fun.
Thanks so much.
Okay, can we get Erica from Founding 4 podcast up next, please?
Thank you much. Abby, kind of going off of what Mike was just asking you, thinking about your game specifically, what opened up for you getting those couple of goals and getting on the score sheet there?
I think in the third, just as a team, we kind of put a lot of pressure on them. And I think it's also helps when our first line is up against their first line. So that kind of, I didn't have to play against their first line a lot at all. And that kind of opens me up to do some different things. And I think that's helpful as well. But I think it opens everybody up actually to do something else. But I think that was just kind of one of the main things is just like towards the third, I think was when we all started to kind of click. Like Decker was just saying how it's been a while since we played against girls. We were playing against boys teams and things like that. So I think it took a second to adjust. It's a different game. It's a different speed. It's a different wavelength, really. And I think that was where in third, I think it started to kind of click again.
Thanks. Can we get Jessa up next from She Scores?
Hi, thanks for doing this, Abby. I'm just wondering, so in the first period, they were out shooting you guys 16-9. So I'm just kind of wondering what you think the team needs to do to ensure a stronger start tomorrow.
I think a lot of it is just coming ready to play. I think we all thought we were ready to play. And I think it took us a minute. I think we were on the bench and we were all saying how it felt just kind of like we weren't connecting with each other, things like that. And I think just even having this game under our belts, having a win, having a game where we end up scoring a couple goals and connecting towards the end, I think that hopefully all we have to do is try to carry that into tomorrow and remember how we finished today.
Thank you.
Great. Ashley from Women's Hockey Life, you're up.
Thanks for speaking with us, Abby. So how have you been preparing mentally and physically for the Dream Gap Tour, not knowing if it would happen because of COVID?
Oh, I think that can be the hardest part. We were talking about how sometimes it can be a very difficult thing to have to train without knowing what exactly you're training for at the end of it. There's not a date, there's not a set game. And I think that can be challenging, but I think mentally it's just to keep pushing forward and know that at the end of the line, there will be something worth training for and putting all this work in. I think physically we've been training a lot. The Minnesota region, we skate together and we work out together all week. And I think that's been making it easier because we all have each other to push each other. And honestly, hockey's just a fun sport. Like we go to the rink and we have so much fun with each other and get to play. And for a while during the beginning of COVID, we couldn't play. We couldn't get on the ice. And I think that's just something to be grateful for. And I think that makes it easier to go out there and push yourself, not knowing when the next game will be, when the next event will be, just because you're grateful to be able to skate at all.
Awesome. Justin, go ahead.
Hi, Abby. Thanks so much for doing this. So with 2 goals and 2 assists tonight, my question for you is, how important was it for yourself and Team Adidas to get ahead in shots early on in the second by way of, kind of setting a tone for the rest of the game, which allowed, again, your team and yourself to the victory? And then with that, could you talk about, Nicole Hensley's contribution to the win?
Yeah, Nicole Hensley obviously played amazing. She's an amazing goalie. Playing against her and our other goalies every day in practice is always a challenge. And I think she came to this prepared. She always is. She's very professional like that. She's always ready for the game and to put her best effort in. I think that's kind of kept us in it, especially at the beginning when we were getting outshot for sure. And I think just realizing that after the first, we talked about some things we need to clean up in some areas that we just weren't happy with. And I think we made sure in the second that we cleaned up those areas and cleaned up for her, especially because A couple times she had made some really good saves.
Thank you.
Awesome. Just under 5 minutes left. So if anybody has another question, but up next, can we get Carol Schramm from the New York Times, please?
Hey, Abby, congratulations on the 4-point night, and thank you for doing this. You mentioned off the top that your group was not maybe as ready as you'd hoped that you'd been off of the opening puck drop. Does tonight serve as a little bit of a warm up within itself for the big stage at Madison Square Garden tomorrow?
I think it definitely does. I think it is a thing just to like kind of kick the dust off. I think we all came in so excited to play a game against our peers and against some of the girls I'll play with, and against through my career and through just USA Hockey events and things like that. So it being my first professional game, that was exciting, and I was really excited. But you get out there and it's just a little rusty. Some passes are like a foot or two off and things like that. So I think this game was for sure nice to get under our belt before tomorrow, before we're playing at Madison Square Garden, which is so cool in itself. And I think just carrying that over is important to us, and to make our best effort tomorrow and play our best game at that obviously historic arena.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. David from Puck Authority, please.
Hey, Abby, thanks for doing this, and congratulations on the win. Obviously, this was, a pretty big night for you, to say the least. Was this, on an individual standpoint, the perfect game for you? Was this kind of what you were hoping would come out of today?
I don't think I was expecting this out of today, honestly. I'm never big. I've never been big on points in itself standing for how well I play. I think obviously they're nice to have, and you need to score and get assists to obviously to win. And that's part of the thing, is just contributing to the team by making that stuff happen. But I think there's some stuff in the D zone I definitely could have cleaned up. And I think that's something that through the game I just was noticing and trying to get better at by the third. And I think there's just little things like that, cleaning that up, cleaning up some puck battles and things. And I think carrying that over in the third is what helped me in that period. But definitely always room to improve for me. That's how I kind of play my game. You got to be happy with your success, but also be able to carry over what you can improve on.
Awesome. So yeah, a couple questions here. So let's go for Erica again, please.
Thanks, Abby. Actually, you talking about points in that question just made me think about some of the unique point system that the PWHPA is taking on, a la Athletes Unlimited and what they're doing, and also what Digit Murphy brought to the Aurora games. I know Hannah Brandt played in that, but I'm just curious to get your thought from the player perspective. I mean, does that change strategy, or did it today, thinking about the point system?
I wouldn't say it changed strategy in the game itself. Obviously, our first goal is to win the game. And that was really all there was to it. But once it got to I think it was 5-1, obviously 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left, our coach was like, okay, like you have 2 goals for the extra point. Obviously, like he was like, you're going out. And I was like, okay. And he was like, just try to score. It's an extra point. But if it's a close game, I don't think that's something we do. We want, obviously, the win it comes first. The team win is obviously our first concern. I think that was really the main point. But I think at points that stuff can change the strategy. Yes. Just like in a 5-1 game with 2 minutes left, you might as well go for it. Right.
Sure thing. Thanks, Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna go last to Jessa, followed by Carol. So Jessa, you're up.
Okay. Hi again, Abby. I'm just wondering, so going into the second period, there's kind of a turnaround of events with the offense. So I'm just kind of wondering what the atmosphere was like between periods, like if there's anything the coaches or captain said to you guys that kind of changed.
I think the coaches, obviously, they said we didn't start our strongest, and I completely agree. We kind of came out flat, and I think at the end of that period is when it kind of picked it up. So they even talked to us about trying to stay like that, but we just discussed, obviously it was a big offensive zone. The blue line is wide and we have a lot of space, and we just talked about trying to get more possession. We thought we weren't getting as much O-zone possession time as we kind of wanted. And I think that was kind of key towards the end of the game. It was getting on the forecheck, getting the puck back, and then moving the puck down the wall just to get it out front was kind of, I think, what led to a lot of our goals. So I think in between periods, we talked about a lot of different things to just clean up. And I think just making sure we came to the second and kind of snapped right into it was what led to that.
Thank you.
All right, last question goes to Carol.
Hi, Abby. I was just curious about what your perception was of the intensity tonight. Was it the level you expected? Was it more? Was it less? And what do you think is going to happen over these next 3 games over the next couple of weeks? Are we going to see emotions start to run higher and higher as we go?
I think you'll definitely see some emotions run higher and higher. I think the intensity started out strong and only built. I think that's how us hockey players are. As the game goes on, little things agitate you or bug you, or you want to do better at something, or you're bothered by something. And I think that's just how all hockey players are in general. So I think as the game went on, it just got more and more intense with people wanting to improve, do their best, or getting frustrated, or little things. And I think throughout the playing this team again 3 more times at least right now, I think that's going to continue to grow. But I think it was an intense game. It was super fun. Obviously, again, my first professional game. So I was very excited to get out here and just play. And I think that kind of helped me just be intense and know that, try to do your best. It's your first game. And I think everybody was on the same wavelength with just trying to bring intensity.
Awesome. Have fun tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Abby. We'll let you head to the bus now.
Yep.
All right, thanks, everybody.